Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. Happy belated 4th of July, you know?
Hopefully you've all kept your hands and fingers and everything intact.
Only my middle finger.
Hopefully.
Happy Hand Surgeon Appreciation Week.
Yep, to those of you who are in the medical field, and to those of you who have to deal with all that good glory gore. Thank you. Also, yes, your eyes are not deceiving you. Thanks to the brilliant work of the most brilliant of model mommies I have. That's what they're called.
One sec, I need to go change Exile's name in another server.
Oh, god damn it.
Model mommy.
Yeah, that's literally called that. It's what all the VTubers call their model creators.
I also need to let my wife know about this.
Fair.
At any rate, I have a brand new model, and it's adorable. I'm only using it for today. For the Dungeons & Dragons sessions, I will be sticking with the OG. However, for gaming and other such stuff, I think I'll go with this. Mostly because it's smaller. And, you know me, I like to keep myself small and out of the way so you guys can still watch the game and have very little, cluttering up the gameplay. That's just me. That's how I like to do. But I figured that since today is today is the day after I have it, and I would debut it. So, mostly because I had such an amazing turnout. Anyway, guys and gals, welcome back to the Wildlands. As you can see, the map is still amazing, and as you can see, I am having amazing casts of characters today. We have some old favorites returning who are now able to. We have some fan favorites who are sticking around. Also, we do wish Mr. Matt a safe journey as he travels to his new home in, Massachusetts?
Yep, Cape Cod.
Yep. He is going to go out there to
live with the partners.
Live with the partners and experience a new walk of life, and we all are happy for him, and we wish him a safe journey. However,
I'm still going to blame him for the fact that I got sunburned.
First things first, for those of you who supported the Under the Seas of Vodari Kickstarter, you should be receiving your packages if you have not already. I am actually currently holding the Under Seas of Vodari book, and it is sexy. Also, the maps, bro. They are so beautiful. They are crispy. Trilabity, you did fantastic. Knocked it right out of the park and kept the flavor. Also, for those of you who want more Under the Seas of Vodari content, or Seas of Vodari content, there is a Patreon that is soon going to come called Vodari Voyages, where they will be uploading more races, subclasses, spells, ships, encounters, all kinds of stuff to go into your high seas adventure. Again,
also, tune in next week for our Seas of Vodari game.
Actually, unfortunately, I'm working next week, so there is no Seas of Vodari game. It is Celebrity Golf Week up here at Lake Tahoe, so those of you who attend, make sure to find your manners. Because some people come up to the lakes and lose their damn minds. And, I don't appreciate it. But anyway, with that though, there will be a Seas of Vodari game on the 26th of this month. 3 short days before my birthday. Haja. So, is what it is. What it is. But I am super excited for that. And I am currently on the waiting list to become one of their patrons, because I plan to support it so I can show off as much of the cool stuff from their Patreon and from their work as possible, because they are a fantastic company, they are a fantastic crew, and they make some good stuff. I like it, and I am always glad to see more of it. Also,
Yeah, they get mad. They get one treat out of the treat jar, but they did good.
And of course, as always, I am shilling my patron. If you guys want to be part of this, if you guys want to support me and my friends and all that we do, and give these guys more stuff to interact with in the world, then definitely consider joining my patron and becoming one of my becoming one of my patients. Because as a doctor, I need more patients so I can keep my practice going. And so you can make that happen. For $3 a month, you will get access to my Spellkeeper patient tier, where you will get all of the homebrew spells that I am creating. As a little tidbit, here's a couple of spells I created. Thorns and Cold Snap for you druids out there. Of course, they are available to other classes as well, but these are for the campaign, or rather the session I'm doing, where I'm creating World of Warcraft spells as class spells. And Thorns and Cold Snap are fantastic. Then, of course, we have the item shopping patient tier for $5 a month. You get access to my homebrew items. I believe this month we are getting more Weapons of the Storm. Weapons of the Storm are lightning and thunder-based weapons, because, of course, and they are fantastic and too sexy. Arr. Oh no, this week is Shards of Power. Actually, yeah, July 7th, 2 days from now, are the Shards of Power. So those of you who have been following along, my Brashnard Spheres of Power, a shard for every single wizard school of magic, as well as chronourgy and graviturgy. And then on August 4th, next month, will be the Weapons of the Storm. The following month in September will be the Sphere of Brashnard itself. And then I begin the absolute monumental task I have set before myself. I will be making each and every Shengong Wu from Shaolin Showdown as a magic item, bitches. I already have a head start. The two-ton tunic. No one's ever made a good two-ton tunic that I like. So, I've always had to... I'm working on that. But the third arm sash, the golden tiger claws, as well as a few... the orb of Tornami and the star of Eye of Dashi are already made and waiting to be posted. So I will be going through and making a whole list from the Wikipedia of Shaolin Showdown. So even Shengong Wu that did not appear in the TV show, I will be making. And that will be pretty much the items I make for the next foreseeable future. After that, we're going to go all the way down to the Infernal Hells, baby, because Devil May Cry is going to come, and those are my next set of magic items. Because, goddammit, everybody wants to be Dante and Virgil, and we're going to have some fun with it.
And on top of that, we're probably going to also have a lot more content that's going to be coming out that's going to be worked on by, well, a lot of us together. I've already gotten Doc's permission that I'm going to start trying to work on making the playable races of Final Fantasy Online 11 as well as the classes. I'm going to be starting out with the race of Mithra, and then classes we're going to be looking at Blue Mage and Dragoon to start.
Indeed. If you are a species collector or a class customization patient at $15 and $20 respectively, you are going to get access to those amazing classes. So for those of you Final Fantasy fans out there, I love you, even though I have never, unfortunately, caught the Final Fantasy fever. I understand that it's good. And I certainly am happy to work with you. Also, the Monster Menagerie for $10 a month. You're going to see more of my fantastic monsters. After all, a good mad scientist needs creations. And for those of you who have been following and are fans of The Wandering Inn, you just saw the chorus deer and you saw the choir deer from this particular set. Now, from the big bells as loud as the thunder to the little bells as soft as the psalms. On July 14th, the Psalms Deer, the final of the Deer Trio, will be available to you, my fantastic patrons. And next month, while you have seen the Timberwolves, I'm sure that all of you are wondering, how big do big doggies get? And let me tell you, they get absolutely massive. As the next 2 months will be my great Timberwolves. 2 of which, actually, that will be released, actually 3 months. So one after the other. But 3 of these great timber wolves, 2 of which were assisted on by the ever lovely Cali Cat down here. So you know they're horrifying.
Wait, I did the thing? What the hell?
Yeah.
No, oh, I remember that now. Sorry. Yeah, we came up with a pretty good twist on the formula.
And
No more of this nature bullshit.
If they show up and kill us, blame Callie. Got it.
I'll take full responsibility for that. That means I designed them well.
Also, for those of you who are fans of The Wandering Inn, another fantastic racial option from that game is coming out in the form of the Stitch Folk. Have you ever wanted to be a Stitchwork doll? Well, now you certainly can be, because I have finished and worked on the Stitch Folk, and I am super excited.
Yay.
Also, for those of you who've been following me for a while, I finally have recovered and found my Oath of the Heart Paladin. Are you a paladin? Yeah. Do you like hitting things? Yeah. Do you want your hitting things to make them fall in love with you? Because that's the paladin I've got for you.
God, the domestic abuse paladin.
It's all done in the name of love.
Yeah, that's
In the name of love. Anyway.
But it is a fantastic homebrew class. I designed it the same time I designed the Seduction Domain Cleric, which is, does it have a heart? Then I can woo it.
S&M Paladin. Got it.
You know, everything's good with consent. And finally, last but not least, is the DM tier. For those of you who wish to get a magic item specifically made by me for you, for $25 a month, you can make that happen. I will design magic items, subclasses, homebrew species, or anything else that I can figure out or that you want. Or I can just give you DM advice and give you a whole list of it and whole pages of it. Again, it's up to you. Also, again, I thank my beautiful artist, Fallen Star Art, also known as Emil, who is in our Vodari game, as well as Mr. Prolot here for designing these art pieces.
I'm slowly working on more, so hopefully we can get some better stuff going up too.
Yep. For those of you who want to join a game run by me and full of absolute chaos, please consider finding my Heliana's Guide to Monster Hunting game. The ever lovely Cali Cat is joining for that particular game, so if you wanted to play with her in her chaotic style, every Friday at 3:15 p.m. Pacific Daylight Time, or PST, whatever you happen to find it in.
Callie will be switching characters.
Indeed. But she will not be switching her talent or her fun. Also,
never.
Who doesn't want to play Monster Hunter? Really? And that's all this is. It's Monster Hunter. Let's all play Monster Hunter. Because it's awesome.
Well, I'm already playing a class from that, so...
Remember to use your prep time effectively. Love you.
Who the hell were you talking to?
I don't know. Any Monster Hunters?
Oh, okay, yeah. And last bit of shilling, I have a Humblewood adventure game created by the lovely folks at Hit Point Press. Formerly the Deck of Many, but the Hit Point Press, because that's the better word. Just because I'm sure that they had to change their name due to, copyright reasons. But they post some really good shit, y'all. And Tales of the Humblewood is fantastic. I love it. My players are loving it. And once again, you can actually play this game with both Callie and Emil. As it is every Monday at 3 p.m. Pacific Daylight Time. I do have one more open slot for that particular game. And, well, will probably be 2, honestly. Unfortunately, one of my players might have to leave because of, the curse of the IRLs. It is an incurable disease that the only way I know to cure it is to get $1 million, put it in stocks, get a monthly income, passive, and then live as a hermit and buy off a house that you don't have to fix for years.
See, I'm just happy I just put in like 8 applications for all remote jobs that hopefully will let me be at home to do more of the on-computer stuffs if I get them.
Bro, what?
Yeah.
Bitch.
You can look up remote jobs and find things you can do from home.
You bitch.
You love me.
Yeah, I mean,
Bitchin'.
We do.
I'm
You still a bitch,
definitely into
though.
that. I mean, hell, if I could take the pay cut, I'd just go into surveillance at work. Fuck it. I can't afford the pay cut right now.
Yeah, I'm sure you could easily do the math to keep up with what they're going to give you.
Oh, yeah. Definitely I can. It's just that right now it's not feasible.
Yeah.
But anyway. So, with that, allow us to jump back into the Wildlands because last time our adventurers met up with Leon, the Paladin, the Oath of the Crown Paladin, who has sworn to free the Pride Lands, and thus the subsequent lands of the Leonin people.
Oh, is this Simba?
His name
Yes.
is Leon. Shut up.
Sorry, Simba equivalent.
You want me to get deep fucking copyrighted in outer space by the
No.
Empire? Shut up.
Let's just keep it simple. This is the future Lion King who has abs that you could probably grade us all on, and
Oh, yeah.
I can guarantee you a couple of us would be grateful.
Thank you.
Hey, we don't get enough attention for Disney to sue us yet. We need to actually be able to make a minuscule amount of money from it.
Actually,
That's
it's
true.
Disney. I had
Don't
I had-
underestimate the mouse. Anyway.
Bruh, I've had one stream that got me 2 cents overall because of ad revenue. It had 3 seconds of Disney music in it because I didn't check my list, and that video immediately got taken down. Disney is fucking. Ugh.
Don't underestimate
All
the
hail the
Anyway,
mouse.
Sorry.
The mouse will rule.
Anyway, we met up with Leon.
Indeed. And in the Oasis, the hidden area that is within the Pride Lands, technically speaking, that is saved and apparently is a safe haven created by the great King Lion himself, the Wild God. Also, for those of you looking, the Wild Gods, as well as all deities of Auria, are brought to you by Midjourney AI. It is beautiful. It is scrumptious. He is the golden boy.
He a chonker.
Also, yeah, he's a fucking chonker.
I mean, he is massive.
Like, damn boy, he thick.
Giggity.
With 5 C's.
But with that being said, Leon has decided that to war we must go. For the Pride Lands, for the Leonin, for all of his righteous fury to be, well, excised in the flames of battle. And so, he is leading you from Oasis to the location of a tribe of gnolls, specifically the Riverfang tribe.
I'm still a lion right now, aren't I?
You are.
Yes. Hold on. Oh, well, yeah. Okay, I got it. Thank you. Sorry.
Well, the reality of the situation is he's going to war, but not an actual war.
Right.
Yuki is very upset over that.
We're going for the Riverfang tribe, right?
Indeed.
What is your intentions as soon as we arrive? Just slaughter them all?
Not all.
Most of them?
Indeed. They won't talk at first. It will take loss of life in order to make them come to the table. Gnolls respect strength.
Oh?
Mm.
I have an alternative here. I'm a well-spoken individual. And they trust one of their own, won't they?
Theoretically.
How they look like?
He kind of
Any
frowns.
markings?
They wear blue war paint. Usually it looks like fang markings along their body. Not many clothes. Only the warriors seem to wear anything more than kilts.
All right. So we're walking, right?
Yeah, you're traveling.
We're traveling. We're walking. We still have the axe pick with us, don't we?
Yep.
So, hang on a minute. I start walking just beside the axe peak in profile, so he can't see me right. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
If looking over, because I'm sure Altera's walking next to him, the Leon can definitely see the eye roll of, oh, he's being extra again.
And after a minute, here comes 7'2", hunched. Hi.
Oh, good old May.
He blinks.
I had a suspicion he couldn't stop giggling no matter the form.
That is impressive.
And I pull out my makeup set.
If you really want to see impressive, you should see him make me into a minotaur again.
I can make both two of us look like this.
And
I don't think I could put on the same act that he does, though.
This is me adjusting to the hyena form.
And you're suggesting that we infiltrate them.
Yes.
I see.
About once a day, I can make someone look like whatever I want to, pretty much. For a whole day, until they go rest.
Very interesting. I will be honest. I didn't think that such a thing would be possible.
I'm full of surprises.
You know, that's actually a good idea. Worst case scenario, as Altera kind of reaches back and pulls out all of the poisons, the 2 vials of nightshade extract, 2 vials of poppy extract, 2 vials of radium, and 10 vials of thorn venom.
And I hand you
We
the
could
10
use-
sticks of dynamite.
We have some very fun options, should we need that route.
So, I have a suggestion that me and Altera infiltrate and arson. Whilst you challenge a champion.
And he's sitting there, and you can see that he's actually really thinking about this. You can see the gears are turning, and you can see that it's going in over his head. The only problem with that is that while thinning their numbers would be of a benefit and a value, their command structure will not surrender unless they are defeated in combat.
Well, we would still be having to face them in honorable combat. That is the only way for you to truly take over. But if we do get rid of a good portion of their forces, they don't have much choice but to fight us fairly. About as fairly as we will make it.
This is true. This is very true.
It's always good to have Mayhem here to balance us.
I suppose that such tactics to weaken their numbers would not be unwelcome. They would perhaps accept a challenge more readily since they are fewer in number.
Sorry.
I will allow. However, do not allow their chief to fall to your work. I must face them in combat, and there are questions I would have answered.
Right.
I need to know why they have done what they have done. There was a balance that was maintained. I need to know how and why that changed.
Yes,
We will
the
do what
circle
we
of life.
can.
Sorry.
Though I feel I might have a bit of that answer for you already.
Oh?
Every being wants to have some sort of power, do they not? And if there's a balance, there's always a scale. And if one feels they can tip the scale in their favor, that's what they'll do.
He nods in agreement. But you can tell that he also, seems to think that there is more. He doesn't say as much, but you can tell from the look on his face that he's contemplating that. However, the thing that you notice, excuse me, the Oasis is actually. Oasis is actually.
Of all the old ones of all of our great animal deities, there's a hyena one, isn't there?
No, you've
No?
never heard of it.
There ain't one.
Okay, I'm just kind of curious.
So here's the thing. It's something that a lot of you are starting to catch up on, so I will go ahead and for the audience, there is a section of my pantheon, deities of Auria, and one of the most important sections that everyone forgets is that there is a section of forgotten deities. These are those who were never found, who are no longer venerated, or who have straight up fucking died. It is something I have always had ever since the first iteration of Auria. Gods fall. Gods change. There is never a steady balance eternally. Kronos was defeated by his children, Oranos before that. The wheel may be forever, but the players and the spokes of the wheel are always changing. So the first and most important thing I did when I created the pantheon for Auria is I created the gods who fell. The gods who are no more. So the question is, as none of you have heard of a god of gnolls or a god of the hyena people,
Yeah.
what happened to him? Where did he go? You know that gods die here, as all of you know, as those of you who are from the Wildlands know of the brave sacrifice of Elephant, who is now the guardian to the life hereafter. To those of you who are discovering, you have also heard the stories of Elephant, the one who watches, the one between. The great elephant sacrificed himself to become more than he was, and yet is still not as venerated as he used to be.
Just thinking, it's the ship of Theseus, but with deities.
Yeah.
But that is a most important thing that I want that everyone has kind of stumbled upon at this point, and that I want my audience to remember is that gods do fade in time. So it's a question of what happened and who took over, or did anyone take over? These are the questions. So, as you all are traveling, you get beyond the mist, beyond the woods, and the oasis. And what you see is horror. You see a land that is not just dead and dying, but has been dead and dying. You guys have approached a river, which is going to be the... I just realized what it is. This is going to be the red square, though. Or the red circle. Where you guys are located. Or not too far. You guys see a land that is just dying. There is no grass. There is no foliage that has life in it. The very ground itself is cracked and blackened, as if it has been burned to ashes beyond ashes. You can see the bones of creatures great and small. You have not heard the sounds of wildlife, insect or otherwise. There has been no signs that anything lives in this world, in this plane. And it stretches for as far as the eye can see, in all directions. North, south, east, west. Even the sky here seems to be gray instead of blue. The Wildlands, many of you, those of you who are new here, the Wildlands has been vibrant and full of amazing life, scales great and small that you have never seen or could comprehend. The very essence of life seems to be just infused in this land. Even in the horrific place that was the Scourged Swamp, there was life abundance. And yet here there is nothing. This is as close to the apocalypse as one could imagine. This is like radiation fallout, but without the radiation. The river.
So Mad Max, got it.
Mad Max wishes it was this horrific.
Yeah.
The very river that you see, you can't even tell that it's water because it, first of all, does not have the consistency of water. It has the consistency of sludge. It is rancid and reeks, and you can see the decaying bodies of something. It's too far gone and too far destroyed to even tell. But for those of you who live in other places on Auria, this is what you imagine Grumgog's plaything, his backyard, to be. For those of you who are unaware, Grumgog is the god and patron deity of plagues, poisons, and, well, pestilence. Even Rat, the god of disease, and the god of, well, the
Rats.
wild god of rats and other such vermin. Even he would bask in joy here. And yet, even in his own den, when you pass by Rat's Warren, you could feel life. There's just nothing here. So, as you make your way along the river, it doesn't take you long before the signs of life become noticeable. Before you can see in the distance fires, bonfires, campfires. You can see a tent-like city. Clearly a camp where the Riverfang make their home. So my question is as you guys have arrived and see this under the cover of this dark sky, what is everyone's first reaction to seeing the light? The only source of life that you have seen in hours. We'll start with Yuki.
Oh, I was gonna say, I think Yuki feels, seeing all this stuff, a mere nod, almost dismissive, like she kind of knows this particular setup, this particular situation. And she sighs, and for probably the 6th or 7th time that day, takes apart her rifle and begins cleaning it.
Tara.
Tara would look and just observe silently before actually crawling up at, well, kind of hovering up and then landing on the back of my axe beak on Selfie's back, and just having have yourself walk next to Leon as she starts going through and cleaning and sharpening all her weapons and everything.
You notice that your Axbeak is nervous. She does not like it here, and she is constantly checking around. She's constantly in a state of hyper awareness. Very clearly,
It's one of the
she is
reasons
very
why
stressed.
I climbed up to, for like, your master is here and is basically the reassuring weight.
Not Altera, sorry. Tobias, how do you feel as you're seeing this?
Gut reaction is disgust.
So you look out over the just ruined lands and you feel disgusted. Go ahead and roll me a history check.
Sly Fox, disgusted bunny.
Bunny is disgusted not only by the filth, but just the perversion of nature here.
Makes sense.
Where is history? There it is.
No, the song is "Where Is My Hairbrush."
11.
Try everything. Anyway,
So as you look, you remember reading some treatises and some information from adventurers long past who went up north. Now, the north beyond the ridge of the world, as it is called. You read the accounts of the first adventurers who actually went there into the foray, the colonists who went before even them and were wiped out to the last. You read of the trolls of the north who have made a living in that harsh landscape, and the northlands of Ardania are left to the gods and those who worship and bask in undeath. The Lich King and Queen created a fortress home, a land where life could not exist, but yet life found a way. Life became crystalline. Life became undead. Undeath became the new natural. And even that was full of more possibilities than what you're seeing here. In fact, part of you almost thinks that undeath would be preferable to non-existence. But never before have you seen a land like this. You have not made it to the frozen north, where undead walk as commonly as you do in the halls of your school, or as the Wildlands is full of life here. You've never been. Mostly because it's kind of scary. You know that the few settlements who have gone north have had it hard, just trying to force out a living in this ever-frozen land. But it is still something. And I think, correct me if I'm wrong, would Tobias find this lack of life interesting in the grand scheme of things? Because clearly this is not just mundane. Clearly there is magic here.
No.
And how would you feel about the evidence of the magic that lives here?
There's always the academic interest, but there's also just the knowledge that this is wrong, this is something that shouldn't be. You know?
Oh, I certainly understand. So, your academic interest does exist, as we all know and understand, but you can recognize that some things, while academically
Are
interesting,
best left alone.
Yep. And mayhem. May.
May just in his null form, still, snorting, getting used to how a null naturally acts. Just straightens up from his hunch a bit, looks over everything around them, and you see this wide grin come across their face as he's excited and expectant of all the chaos they can create.
As the location comes forward, you guys are about... You guys get to maybe probably about 15 minutes walk outside of the village, and you can now see the members of this tribe moving around. You can now see evidence of not an insubstantial number of gnolls. In fact, it is alarming how many gnolls you see. The reason it's alarming is because clearly this land cannot support any kind of life. And yet these gnolls not only seem to be thriving, but seem to be dangerously propagating. They seem to be having a population explosion.
Oh, okay.
I mean, yes, they're having a laugh too, you fucking dickhead, but that's not what I was talking about. But their populations seem to be exploding to an unprecedented and horrific level. But you can hear, even from this distance, the sounds of their laughs, the sounds of their snarls, and the sounds of fighting. Not to anyone's surprise. So, the plan, as I have heard, is to send May and Auria disguised as gnolls in first.
That has been the discussed plan for at least
That has
the
been
two of us.
yeah. If anyone objects, please tell us.
This isn't a monarchy. It is a democracy.
Right now, I'm sitting at my computer, thankful I don't have to play the gunshots or fireworks game this time of year.
I don't think Yuki actually objects to this plan.
All right.
So we're we're a 15-minute walk from the camp.
Correct.
Is just empty, or there are like rocks and boulders that we can go behind?
So there are some rocks, there are some boulders, there are desiccated trees that have fallen over and collapsed.
So there's a place that we can that the rest of the party can set up and
Oh
wait.
yeah, most definitely.
Okay, because we're gonna have to set up for me to turn them into an old two.
You also find that there is a small, like, almost a gnoll-made lake that they clearly dug a trench from the river to fill into this lake that they have kind of made for themselves, and you can see that there is no water in it.
Fair. So, shall we set up?
Would be a good idea for us to get started.
Alright. So, the thing I do want to get from Leon is a proper description of their markings.
So, the warriors, as he says, the warriors have blue fang marks, 2 under each cheek or under each eye, and a third coming straight down their forehead, the middle of their forehead. On their arms, they have 4 rows of these markings all the way down to their wrist. It starts at the shoulder and goes down to their wrist. They also wear kilts that are reinforced with bones to make a kind of hide bone armor hybrid, as well as a leather almost tunic that matches.
So if he did give the description like along the way, could have we been gathering bones along the way too?
Oh, there's plenty of bones.
Okay,
You
good. So
you
I have shit to
are
work with.
you are not at risk of not having bones.
Not finding bones. Okay, got it. So there's the warriors that have those markings, and there's something beneath the warriors, and then I believe there's the leadership above.
So
we're not dumb enough to.
The chief is the only thing above the warriors.
Okay.
The only other thing that's kind of equal or above the warriors is the shaman.
He's the shaman, yeah, and
And
I
the
believe there's like
shaman-
only one per tribe.
Actually, he says that there are two.
There are two.
There are two in the lesser tribes, and there are usually double that number in the greater tribes. He has alerted you that the greater tribes the greater tribes consist of three: the Vicious Claws, the Bone Laughers, and I think it's the steel I can't remember. I'll have to go back and check the other.
Okay.
game.
And insert name here, but
Yep.
yes.
The lesser tribes consist of the River Fangs, the Plains Hunters, and the Rock Breakers.
Okay. And so
The greater tribes have 4 shamans.
Okay. And then beneath the warriors, is there anything, or just is the warriors like the base?
So the warriors are anyone who can fight, or anyone
Okay,
who
and-
does fighting. Which basically, if you're not a pup, if you're not a cripple or a old, or what he calls long tooth, and basically everyone else is just a citizen. There are no special markings to denote them.
Okay.
If you are a long tooth, however, you actually still have the blue marking down your forehead, but the rest of them have been removed from you. He says this almost as if it's like, almost as if there's like some ritual behind it.
Fair. So, as if there's some ritual behind it. So basically, Mason, what I'm thinking is we just go as like normal dudes.
Hmm.
But if we're normal dudes, they'd expect us to fight, so we'd have to have the markings.
Yeah, so
You'd also
having
have
the
to
markings and everything.
You'd also have to, look old.
Oh no, normal dudes like just regular like middle-aged.
Oh
guys.
yeah.
Yeah, so we'd have to have the markings. Which I can replicate. I'm pretty good with the disguise kit, but
Yep, and he is able to give you a pretty accurate representation of them with drawing them in the dirt and with his claws.
yeah, and we can also, with some spare costumes that I have, make tribal outfits.
Yeah.
The thing is, my weapon is a cane. Is a cane rapier. So I have to leave that behind. It's
You could dirty it up and have a heavy limp.
this is true.
I could. But also I mostly do magic, to be honest.
I know. However you want to run that.
I'll leave the cane with Tobias, so he has to.
Thank you.
Shillelagh fighting, bitch!
Yeah, it's a cane rapier. But so I have a short bow with me, so I'll make do.
Yeah.
I also have a knife, so yeah. And we can makeshift our clothing to make an armor to look like what they wear.
Easy done. So, here's what I want you to do first. Roll, and you will have time enough to have advantage on this check. So first things first, I need you to roll me a disguise kit test, querying charisma.
Okay. With advantage?
Yes, with advantage, because you have the time to make this right.
22.
Fantastic. Then I need you to roll me a disguise kit test querying dexterity to make the costumes. Again, with advantage, and you have time to do it.
22.
Fantastic.
They call me Mr. Bomba.
Because-
Anyway. Well, they're gonna call us Mr. Bombastic in a minute. You have the dynamite. Anyway.
Give it up for the one and only Biggie Cheese. Dude, that movie is so
Biggie-
underrated, but it's so not. It doesn't need to be as good as it is.
They call me MC Biggie Grins.
And I will
Anyway.
kind of overlap
So-
the two circles here.
What kind of clothing exactly is it going to look like we're going to have as we're when we're in the
Like
gear?
bone armor and leather
Bone armor.
tunics.
So basically like if a leather like cinch belt style thing would actually fit in then.
Yeah.
Correct. But
Okay.
imagine the Lord of Bones from Game of Thrones.
Okay, I just wanted to make sure because yeah, the rapier wouldn't sit well with a look, so it'd be my short bows and my dagger.
Yeah.
But I'm also thinking I could probably actually take the tongue lashing, my whip, and make it look like a cinched belt.
Almost definitely.
But leave whatever's valuable behind.
Everything that's valuable is already on selfie.
I will, however, dirty up my loot. And make it look like it's something I took from someone I killed. I like splash a bit of red on it.
Easy done, easy done.
Yeah. Otera? Lie down.
Bloop, bloop.
And I hack into this owl with my surgeon's tools for the next 10 minutes to make them look like an owl.
Leon,
The whole time you just hear very disturbing noises.
Leon's face grows a little green as he was not expecting something like that, but he does not balk. You notice that he stands, he stares, he watches. He does not let the fact that he is clearly disgusted by what he's seeing stop him from watching it. Something to either admire, something to note, or just something to just kind of laugh at, guys' overall call.
And then, with a final stitch, I... Welcome to the family!
As Altera sits up and stretches, getting used to the temporary form. Oh, okay, let's see.
Also, yeah, your vocal cords are very different, so you are snarling.
Yeah, it's a very uncomfortable feeling the first couple
Oh
of
yeah, no,
times.
it's just the as everything processes. This will be a great plan, yes.
Also, you're a female. You have a huge penis.
That's...
I mean, I'm already used to carrying one of those around, but
And demonetized.
Man, where's my facepalm emote?
Yeah, you don't get to be a nature channel. You can't make it realistic.
Too bad. Already did.
It's okay. We're just carrying it around
Monetization.
under the loincloth.
I don't
Just
have
because-
a facepalm emote, and this disappoints me.
Just because we know it's there doesn't mean everyone else needs to know it's there.
Fair enough.
It ain't for other people.
I feel like I'm gonna need to find out how to make a facepalm emote now.
Also, we are returning to camp. They might ask what the fuck we were doing outside. Let's get our story straight before we go.
Well, it'd probably be the easiest to say that there was a small caravan we found on our own, and we chose to.
I was scouting,
extract,
found a caravan, and
gain supplies. Yes.
yes. We were with others, and they did make it.
There's a great lion somewhere, apparently, that's been removing ours.
Yes, I think we have our story straight. And I just nod at Leon.
He nods.
Big toothy grin.
Well, what's your name?
Bitterfang.
Good, good. I'm Ka. Right. And I just stretch the hunch. Let's go.
Off into the loping gait of...
If we find ourselves in trouble, which I hope that won't happen. Let's see what I can do. Hold up. I'll shoot a firebolt into the sky. Should be enough light for you to see it. Okay?
Nods.
As we run, I'm going to have my backpack that has all of my stuff in my other hand. I'm kind of going to drag it in the dirt to make it look like it's been roughed up a bit. I'll have my rapier actually strapped to the top of it and everything, make it look like it's loot that I'm bringing back.
Yeah. I'm leaving everything behind except my ball bearings, my short bow and arrows, silk rope that I found that's apparently now fucking loot, and some instruments that have been dirtied up as well.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
And nunchucks.
All right.
Also, Hammerpaw's axe. It's fucking loot now. Yeah. So everything
Oh
else.
yeah, I
is
forgot
been
you
left
have
behind.
Hammerpaw's axe.
Yes, I do.
It's a fun one.
So everything else is left behind.
So as you all, as the pair of you venture forward, the rest of you getting ready to react, though, it will take you time to get there. So, concern is concern, but, is what it is, man. What it is.
The probability of us playing hero is, yeah.
Hi?
Let's hope.
I mean, to be honest, if they catch us, I'm not at too much of a disadvantage. Terra, on the other hand.
I mean, Terra has weapons.
Yeah, the thing is, I can hide and make myself look like another null. He can't.
This is true.
Yeah, but you've also seen how Terra fly off extremely quickly and make themselves a target that doesn't get hit easy.
You can fly now.
I was gonna
That's
say,
the thing.
yeah. But anyway.
Does this
yeah.
make Star Wars reference?
That's right. Oh, I still actually have the ability to do some good moves.
Oh no, you still can fucking run fast, but yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
But anyway.
we got this.
So
We got
as
this.
you guys,
We're built for this.
as you guys head forward and are, engage, your disguises are, ready, they're working, and you guys are very clearly, very, very good at being fake notes. And you notice a couple of other things. The first thing of interest that you note is the fact that you guys are not the only gnolls returning at this point. In fact, you can actually see that there are many gnolls who are coming back. And there are bodies among these gnolls being carried back. And as you follow them in, no one even questions your arrival. No one even questions who you are, what you look like, or anything about you. They are instead brought to the chief. And the chief looks ghastly. They are, by and again, the largest gnoll here. They are over 10 feet tall. They are a massive kobold. Or, no, not kobold, shit.
If it was a kobold, I'd be terrified.
Right? But they are massive. And you can see that they are just standing over everyone. Fortunately, I can't find better art than that. And it's all pixelated. Bitch. Is what it is. However, as you get close, you can hear the gnoll hunter of this group. Chief River, I bring news. No, you bring Jack. How? The bears, they are mighty. We cannot hunt them. You realize it's a female, despite the moniker of chief. You gather that there is no, gender difference here, at least in terms of titles. And she looks to the one standing next to her, who is he is crouching, and he is hunched even more so, and you can see his claws kind of clicking together as he watches, contemplative. And you can quickly gather that this is the shaman. As you can see, bones in the shape of music dangling around his neck, around his arms. He's covered in them. Unlike May, you've seen music from Ardania. Unlike in Ardania, though, these have no color. It's not that there's not any magic to create them, it's that for some reason it almost looks like there's no need for it. Because, in your experience, the tribes separate and have the 4 colors. However, here in the Wildlands, it seems that they don't. For whatever reason. You're not sure, but it's an interesting note. Especially as a bard, you are closer to music than most people. So you understand.
As of recently. Yes.
Yes. However, you can see he's kind of clicking and clacking his claws together. And he just looks to the chief. Meat's back on the menu. Yes. Yes. And she lifts herself up, standing even taller still. We shall feed on meat tonight. And you hear... Exactly. You hear the cheering and the cacophony. And you guys, even in the camp, as far away as you are, can hear this cacophony of joy.
I just hit on Sarah real quick in the shoulder to play along.
I don't know if that's a good thing. I'm going to hope it's a good thing.
Yuki is looking over at our lion friend, and just the eyebrow. Good thing everything will be balanced, right?
He doesn't seem to be listening to you. He seems to be watching. And
She's ready too, but...
Well, go ahead and roll an insight check.
Sure. Alright, oops, wrong one.
And tell me what you get, of course.
17?
You can tell that he's... To put it simply, he's not there. Like,
D.
he is in another world, in another time, you know, reliving something. But he is watching this camp intently for any signs that something is amiss.
Yep.
And so your, you know, comment goes unheeded and unheard. But as, you know, he watches, he's clearly readying himself for something to happen. As the camp begins to they rip, they rend, they tear their own people apart. There is no decorum here. There is no honor
They
here.
blame the messenger.
The messenger is still alive, but
Oh, okay.
all of the
bodies.
dead he has
Got
brought
it.
with
The
him.
bodies, got it. Yeah.
Mhm.
Dead nose? Yeah.
Yep. They are ripped, they are rendered, they are... Some gnolls, even into eagerness, take fingers and just start to eat them. As you're now looking, I want both of you to roll an insight or an investigation check, your choices.
Nice.
But
15.
yeah,
So-
7 investigation.
Latira, what you're seeing is actually something pretty interesting. You're seeing a lot of the long tooths. A lot of the elders are missing limbs, legs, arms, in some cases tails, but there is not one long tooth who has not been maimed in some fashion. Not one. You also note that there are only a handful of young ones. And even some of them, some who are slower or weaker or smaller, are missing pieces. Very clearly, this is a tribe of gnolls who is on the verge of starvation and has resorted to the most horrific thing that can be done, is eating those who cannot actively participate.
Yeah.
And the only two gnolls who appear to be hale and healthy is the
shaman
chief
and the
shaman.
and the shaman. Exactly.
And yet, not by much. Like they,
Yeah, they're still on the brink. Yeah.
And so, in a matter of moments, the dead are ripped apart and put into big cauldrons, soup cauldrons, as you can hear the clatter of bones. And you see piles and piles of bones and desiccation that have been used to basically make bone broth. And that seems to be the majority of what they're surviving on. They have an abundance of those. After all, you guys could have picked up, 700 plus pounds of bones just between your journey from Oasis to here. But as you got closer, you noticed that all of the bones, large or small, had been picked clean, had been taken away. And that is what is sustaining this tribe. That is the only thing that is sustaining this tribe. And as you are all moving about the camp, you can... I'm going to put your tokens on a map.
There is no calorie surplus.
There's not even a calorie
We are the
deficit.
calorie.
There is just a non-existence of calories. To say there's a deficit, there'd have to be the potential for calories to be gained.
Yeah.
So,
By the way, Leon only said the chief needs to survive, right?
the chief is the one who needs to survive.
Well, we got one of our main targets.
However, as you're watching, one of the hunters who left and is returning, you notice that they are wounded. There are actually a few wounded ones. And you actually see that the chief seems to look at them. She then gestures to the shaman, and you hear him begin to laugh. And it's not normal. There is a tone here. There is a song to this laugh. And you watch as a few of his music begin to glow.
And I perk up at that, and start cocking my head like a confused dog.
The sound that happens next is the sound of a vicious, snarling animal clamping down on something, and you watch as 4 of the hunters scream. And you guys can again hear this in your camp. And you watch as their limbs just are rent from their bodies. The injured limbs. One loses a leg, the other an arm. In one case, the warrior loses both an arm and a leg.
Tries to hold off laughter.
The pack,
Keep
the tribe, flinches and looks horrified at the shaman who finishes his cackling song and just more food for the feast.
I'm just imagining the scene from Chainsaw Man with the Darkness Devil, just all their limbs.
Yeah, that's actually a great scene idea to pick.
Mm-hmm.
And the pack, the tribe, sees no problem with this, aside from the initial flinch, because they were expecting worse, or maybe expecting them. The hunters, wail and moan and cry. However, the shaman goes over to each one, and in turn, he, again, has this cackling, singing song, and there is a lighter note to it. There's a friendlier note to it as he heals the wounds that he has just made. Stopping them from dying, but making sure the process of what he just did is irrevocable outside of regeneration.
Yeah.
And the cubs are quick to grab the limbs and bring them over to the communal campfires where everybody is cooking. And Auria and May, you guys are ignored. By and large, you guys are ignored. It's just other members of the tribe. Nobody notices you, or you don't stick out. And
Yeah.
you can see for every warrior here, there is 1.5 non-combatants.
Mm-hmm.
The reason I say half is because the long tooths and the children do not count. However, you have your goals. You can also see that the chief is eating a whole body to herself, and the shaman is preparing it. And the shaman has actually acquired one of the limbs from the hunters he just made.
This is the token for the shaman?
This is the token for the shaman.
Oh, okay. Because that one looks significantly different, that's why I asked.
This guy is significantly different, and what you can see is he is carrying blades. A lot of them. They are hooked. They are, think they're almost Kopesh-like, except they don't have the recurve that a Kopesh blade has at the very tip. It's just the weird dip.
Mm-hmm. Like shuttles.
Yes.
Yeah.
And you can see that they are the only ones who are wearing metal armor. You also note that it is rusted and ragged and does not seem to be something they normally wear, or does not seem to be created by them.
Yeah. It's really out of place, man. Okay.
Oh, yeah. But he is the only one. He's also the only one with this particular type of weapon. Everyone else, you can see the spears, you can see the longbows, you can see all that. The chief is the only other one with a different weapon. And the chief has... the chief is actually wielding no weapon, sorry. The chief has massive claws and fangs, and that seems to be all that she has.
These hands be rated E for everybody. Okay, got it.
Yep. So that is what you see.
So, whispering to Otter, do we offer the chief our bounty?
Have we seen any other gnolls going up and bringing things to the chief, or have they all been keeping any extra takings and stuff to themselves?
So anything that could be used as food seems to be added to some communal piles. You actually saw a couple gnolls come in with some bones that they have scavenged and they have placed in piles of bones, and each fire has a small pile of bones. In fact, this particular map I can actually draw it in the off-white here. So each gray square is a pile of bones. The large fire in the center has the most, obviously. But any bones or foodstuffs that can be added to the the cauldrons have been added to these piles. However, anything of substance, such as the hunters coming back with a message and the failure of their hunting party, and anything that still has any flesh remaining on it is brought before the chief. Anything else is just kind of added to this pile to be used later, or these communal piles to be used later.
Okay.
And you can see that there are some signs of vegetation, mostly fungi, mushrooms, lichen, things that they clearly didn't get here, because there's been no evidence of any of that anywhere nearby. But clearly their hunters are ranging far afield.
Yeah.
And from Leon himself, you did hear that they have started to encroach on the Ursine Woods to the northeast. They have started to range that far afield.
It's gonna my fucking soul. Everything that I have that is made of wood. Yes, this includes Hammer Paw's axe, except the loot. I add them to the fire.
Did you just say you added Hammer Paw's axe to the fire?
Yeah. No, sorry, not the axe. Not the axe. I add basically the extra lyre and loot that I have. I just break them over my knee and toss them into the fire so they have more fuel.
Okay. They take it. It just gets, added to the pile, and some stuff is thrown in. You can clearly see that there is, oh, you get rid of Mouse Squints' lyre?
That one I left behind. I said nothing.
Oh, okay, right.
Yeah, the things of value I left behind.
Alright, so...
The Hammer Paw's axe, I'm gonna tentatively approach the shaman.
I will actually be going with him, pulling the tunnler egg out of the bag.
Alright. So as he the shaman is... I'll mark the shaman with a green dot.
Yeah, thank you. Approach the shaman.
And this guy will be an orange dot.
Great magic user of our river fang. I bring.
He looks.
Sorry.
I bring something that our raid as might have been of use to you.
And I present Hammer Paw's axe.
He looks at it and he... You went south, yes?
Yes.
Chief, they live. We thought they gone. They went south. So it seems. This is their great chief's axe, yes? Here, see,
Yes.
see! And he takes the axe and shows it. And the Riverfang chiefess takes it and... He has fallen then. Good, good. The timber cats are weak. But they went south. Did not the bones say they would go to the woods? He shrugs. You only asked where they would end up, not where they traveled first. Your bones grow to be less reliable. It is not this one's fault, Chiefess, yes? This one has said that the words, the songs are hard to hear. Yes, I have said. And she reaches down and palms the shaman's head. You have said, yes. But with the timber cats no longer here, we run low on food. The Pridelands will not let us take from the Great Main. No longer. Not since that day. No, Chief. The River Fangs did the dirty work. And yet the Great Scar, the Great Usurper, has demanded that we suffer. I say, bone lappers. She takes
So
the axe, though.
with the hint of disdain she showed, the bone laughers, I was like, I match the energy, you know, in the background.
You have, and she looks to you. You have done well, Raider.
Thank you, Jesus.
I think good spoils, good news deserves rewards. No?
If you deem it worthy.
Roll a persuasion test with advantage.
I commit to the bit. 18.
Very well. You shall have first bowl of feast. You and your raiding party shall have first bowls. It is greatest gift I have.
Bows in. Yes, thank you. Thank you, mommy.
On the exact opposite end of that vein, Terra in their form is looking very... Like, they look like they have had a rough day overall. They aren't being as vocal, and they are standing just behind with their head bowed in deference, holding the egg and looking up towards the chieftain.
The chief looks, and she moves and she towers over you, and she reaches down oh so carefully and plucks the egg.
We were raiding, and I found a bag. One taken from one of the things that we were fighting in the mists. Seeing what was in front of us and fighting was difficult, yes. But from the bag, we have this egg. I would like to offer it to you, great chieftain.
She inhales again. This is good prize, yes. This is child of worm. Thought him long dead. It seems wild ones exist still. Lion may have fled these lands. And you see a flicker of doubt in her eyes. A flicker of sorrow. Clan did not starve under the lion. No, Chief. Clan did not starve under lion. It is known. But can we really say that we are worse? She just looks at the shaman. That thought, yes. Sorry. You will be. I hate the Leonin. Yet, when it was just Riverfangs and Rockbreakers and the true clans, we were mighty. Riverfangs, Plain Hunters, we had more. The Bone Lappers are corrupt. The Vicious Claws are dangerous. The others, unspeakable. And she shakes her head in anger and fury. He changed them. There will be retribution in time. The great wheel turns. We only need to survive it. With this, though, shaman, take it. And she holds it down to him. If we can birth one, we can offer it to the other clans. Yes, we can break the others. Chieftain is wise.
We could be the greatest. We
Okay.
could remove the usurper.
No, not yet. Not while he wears that crown. And you hear a sorrowful cacophony come from the other gnolls. A baleful sound that actually wrenches at your heartstrings. It is the sound of hopelessness made manifest. Wow,
So-
he has it. We are stuck.
Just out of curiosity and everything. How long ago did the usurper take over and everything on this one?
It's been about 15 or so years. As the Leonin, as Leon recognizes time, he was a cub when the usurper took charge.
So it would be a good possibility that it could look like I was, I was born after all this had happened. So
Oh yeah,
so
gnolls are not a long-lived species.
When did I say middle age? We're 10 years old.
You're actually closer to 20, so you would have been like cubs.
Okay.
yeah,
Okay, we would have been.
yeah, I would definitely have been. Okay, so ignorance is a good thing to use here then.
Yeah.
The usurper and Leonin were before my time, chieftain. I have heard no tales. Why is there hate if they fed us, if they made it before? If we did not starve under Lion, why must we starve now?
You are younger than most. Still, I will tell. It is a story that must be shared. And she looks to the shaman. And he, again...
All around, children.
And indeed the cubs do gather around as the shaman gives a cackle. And a major image from the shaman is portrayed in the sky.
Oh yeah, we gotta kill this motherfucker. Jesus.
Long
Hey, at least
ago...
we're getting her to use her spell slots.
well,
No, I didn't.
long...
It doesn't cost me anything to turn people into things.
No. The shaman
Oh, shaman. Yeah. Fuck yeah.
using spell slots.
And as the major image and the chieftain begins, long ago, young cubs, there were the Leonin, lions who walked upright, the union of the great king and the great maker. They look a little confused at the story. No one's quite sure what the great maker is. But you can see that there's wide-eye fascination here. And two images flash up. The first is obviously Lion. That is of no doubt to anyone who is looking. The other one is something that no one has seen before. And allow me to create another handout.
Okay, whilst you are doing that, I have a couple of quizzes.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
First of all, it is about the end of day, right?
It is actually closer to like midnight.
Closer to midnight. All right. So like, there's people walking about, and they're about to turn in, and some like they are guarding the camp, right?
You're actually seeing that basically, if you are a warrior, you are up. If you are anything less, most of them are going to sleep.
Most of them are going to sleep. All right. And whilst we are hearing this story, we huddled up to hear this, basically.
Yep.
And you'd say that we are kind of near one of the pots?
Oh, yes. Yes.
We should probably move our tokens over by the chieftain and them, since we're
Yeah. So we're basically around here.
Allow me to actually move you, because she would have moved to a more advantageous spot.
Please.
Okay.
Please.
So allow me a momento.
Yeah, I'm getting my usual fucking deathly lag from Roll20, so moving things is a little
So,
difficult.
because the thing, my ideas is, whilst we were moving about the pots and the different bone piles.
Mm-hmm. You guys would be here.
But the thing I was gonna suggest, Mason, because you're carrying the poison and some dynamite, and I'm carrying some dynamite. The bone piles are being used. Correct?
There are those who are listening and still cooking and preparing. The children are the only ones who are stationary.
All right. So the bone piles are being used, but they don't seem to be running out soon, or do they?
No, not running out. But it would be very easy for you to hand off stuff and make it look like you got it from the pile and then hand it off. That would be easy.
Oh, the thing I was gonna propose is we plant some dynamite around the bone piles.
Oh, certainly could do that. Yeah, you could definitely sneak dynamite into the bottoms of the bone piles.
And whilst we go through pots, Altera could just sneak in a little bit of radioactive shit.
Roll me.
No, I'm not saying we're doing it. I'm
okay.
Suggesting it.
It is the plan I was already thinking of as well, so I fully would agree.
So, just so you're aware, sleight of hand for slipping stuff into the cauldrons and slipping stuff under the bone pile without being seen. So you let me know when you're doing it, and make that roll. Oh, as I have completed the handout, everyone can see my glorious unifier.
Yeah, and just to finalize the suggestion of action is whenever I see an Altera gives me a signal that they're gonna do something, I try to divert attention from them to try and give them advantage.
Yeah, sure.
As we're getting by
and same would be the other way around for me.
Yeah, we'd basically be helping each other as much as possible.
Yeah.
And as we're going by the pot the first time, I would do my best to slip in some of the thorn venom.
Yep, go ahead and roll a sleight of hand check. No disadvantage because you are not being observed. 20? Alright, definitely enough. And so, as you guys are listening and as this happens...
and also I would like to slip some dynamite, onto the big pile, a small bundle of 3. Sleight of hand advantage?
No, straight, because there's no disadvantage, because you're in a bunch of people who could be observing you, but Altera and the story that's being told are making it so not everybody's paying attention.
Oh, just straight?
Yep, just straight.
Because there's still plenty of people, which I understand.
Yeah, you guys are still being, there's plenty of people who could catch you even by accident. 16 is plenty.
16. Yeah.
Because the two people with the highest perceptions are telling the story. So,
Okay.
anyway, the children that were Leonin, the great unifier, Mantu, and the great King Lion ruled over the Pride Lands. They hated us because we were from one of the Forgottens. But, like all creatures in the Wildlands, there is a balance. There is a place for us. Those who did not have a place were removed by the Great Poison. You see creatures like Mantu who start dropping dead as this green gas seems to pass over the wildlands, and only creatures who look like Mantu seem to drop dead. Everything else seems to be living, including the land. However, there was a time where the previous chieftain of the River Fang found the Forgotten, found symbols of the Forgotten, brought them to the surface. The Leonin were growing. The Great Mane had a war amongst themselves. The first civil war that they have ever known. The clans and tribes are in strife. The River Fangs, the Rockbreakers. We have always been at each other's throats. We have always fought, but never sought to eradicate one another. The Plains Hunters did their best to live on the fringes. Then sickness came. The sickness that took members of all three tribes and corrupted it. The Bone Lappers, the Vicious Claws, and the others were born. These three clans were diseased, were horrifying. They were no longer gnolls, and yet the Bone Lappers found it. They were the ones who brought it to him. The Great Leonin, known as his facial feature. And she drags her claws down her face and into a slashing scar motion. The usurper, as we know him now. He took in the Bone Lappers, as he himself was ostracized to live on the outskirts. When the Bone Lappers found it, evil thing, they brought it and gave it to their master. And he took it. Using its power, he had the Bone Lappers, the others, and of course the Vicious Claw. He enslaved them to his will. They are no longer gnolls. They are no longer creatures. They are monsters. You can hear the sorrow from the others. He enslaved them to his will, and in so doing, declared war on the other tribes. The Plains Hunters were the first to fall. They were fallen into line. Their greatest hunters slaughtered and devoured. The Rockbreakers were next. They who had allied themselves with the few remaining children of Elephant. Somehow, it was a great feat in their time. He slew the children of Elephant and made a great feast of them. That sacrilege, that breaking of their bonds weakened them. And then he came for us. The River Fangs depended on the great salmon, and the shaman lights up the sky with a brilliant pink image of a massive salmon. Something that you guys can see even at your camp a great distance away.
Everyone in the party. The fuck?
Why is there
That is-
fish?
That is the most tasteful ill omen I've ever seen.
We had a deal. We had unity with Salmon. She provided us the children who were not meant to go on, and we would feed. We were the largest of all the tribes at one point. We outnumbered some Leonin tribes, the Sand Claws of the Dunes, to the south. And I will allow you to see. We matched the Sharp Fangs to the northwest. And we were mightier than the Thorn clan. We were mighty. And then he came with that crown. Right on the bones of our first. Sorry, this is really rough on the throat.
Yeah, I understand. And sorry to interrupt. But these gnolls just seem like victims of circumstance, don't they?
Oh, they 100% are.
Okay.
We're still killing them?
I mean, you know.
No, I'm asking Mason.
So, part of my thought process here, we started the story already when we were coming back here, when they were slipping the poison and everything. We started hearing about that this is a blight. They are victims as much as those that we are here working for. You've seen, I'm sure you could understand some of the thought processes of taking over something. If you see some weakness, you plant some words and some ideas. People become a bit more amiable things. So the reason why Altera is using the thorn venom instead of the strong poisons is with the follow-up to all of this of the usurper brought a blight, brought a plague. The usurper made the world sick. And if we do nothing, the usurper will make us sicker. And ours will fade. We were, as you say, great. Sticks break. Many sticks together break less. There are always going to be enemies. But the enemy of my enemy is my friend. If it means we can all eat again.
You seriously just hit them with the apes together strong.
Yes, he did.
And my entire plan,
Yeah.
the whole plan on this was to, plan on this was to slip some poisons and stuff, make it look like
to make them make them sick as well. Make them sick, and basically the dynamite is just a precaution if they turn, so we can blow them up.
Yeah, and towards the end of it all, the two people disappearing as sickness starts to spread that were the ones to bring up the usurper and everything, kind of raises some sus.
Yeah,
at least that's my plan.
Riverfang can, if properly outfitted, and this is my belief, chief and great shaman, if Riverfang is properly outfitted and unites other hunters that are not yet monsters, the usurper can fall even with his own blight.
You see that the chief seems to look sad at this. She then gestures to the shaman to continue the story. What you say is not unwise, no. It's more. Story not done. And he gestures. When the usurper came with his crown of domination, a simple moniker, we forget its true name. It is the crown of the Forgotten One, the one who made us in his likeness. We do not know his name. It has been taken from us. And for the better. He says, as if he's some authority.
By the way, this shaman look old as fuck. Okay.
So, yes, he does. But he also looks to be unusually healthy. Meaning that old age has not broken him, or old age does not seem to weigh on him as heavily as it does everyone else.
He's been bumping iron. Anyway.
But presently, the usurper came and, in single honorable combat, slew the laws that we live by. The clan must obey. And you see he points, and on this rock face, it reads, "The strongest is the rule." It is greatest oath we have made. The one who is strongest leads. We obey. It was the covenant that we made to survive. It is the only thing that has kept us alive. For hundreds of years after the death of the Great One. However, when the usurper killed the Riverfang chief, new chief was named. She was given task. The usurper would lead the great ruler's child to the slaughter. And you see the Riverfang chieftain snarl in fury. He was delivered. I would not slay cub. It was not fight of honor. It would have been poisoned. However, the great king challenged me in single combat. Yet he was weak. Not naturally so. The usurper had already begun his work. He fell to my claws and fangs. And you watch the scene. This Leonin clad in golden, glorious armor, glowing with light and energy, and a golden crown that was not actually physical, it was incorporeal. And it floated above him. And then you see her. She is still mighty in size, yet you can see that there is something wrong with the land around them. I fought and slew. Yet the bone knifers came after the battle and tried to kill the cub. I tried to stop them. He would be no threat. Knoll hands should not kill the last of Lion's line. For it would be our doom. Yet, they care not. They are gone to madness and corruption. The usurper heard of this and banished us here to the outskirts, told us that we must fight the Ursine in the woods. We have lost half of our clan to this attack. The woods themselves repel us at every opportunity. The great bear and his children wander those woods. No Knoll can kill one. We cannot enter the elephant's graveyard, the elephant's rest, for elephant has turned his eyes away. He does not hear our plight. Lion refuses to answer. We are alone. And you can see that there is a single river flowing, and it cracks and breaks. And she looks up.
Yeah. So let me get this straight. They're just keeping this way of life because of honor code of motherfucker with a scar beat us, and we gotta do what he says now.
Correct. But as you're hearing it, there is very much a metaphysical component to this. The shaman speaks of this honor code as if they disobey it, they will cease to exist. And they just might.
So I have a proposition, and I look to Auria, and then I look up to the sky as to ask, with a mere glance, do I do it?
Out of
Gonna do
curiosity, with the transformation being given to make me to look like this as at the moment,
You cannot end it yourself.
I
No.
cannot end it myself. No.
No.
Okay.
You look like this until you go to sleep. Sorry.
Auria on that one will meet over at May's gaze and give a nod while looking over to the chieftain and the shaman.
Chieftain, may I pose a question?
She holds up a claw. Nearly. The shaman is nearly done. You see the shaman continue. With no line of lion to rule properly, the land decayed. The crown eats life, as did the Great One back then. He created us to absorb the life.
And then I turn.
The Bone Laughers are proof of his wicked evil. Their existence is a blight. The others are walking abominations. We must pay for the crimes of our failure, of our lack of strength. And yet, without a son of Lion's line, the world that we live in, the Pridelands, cannot recover. And I fear that if the usurper goes to the other Leonin clans and prides and takes them, which I know he can do, the winds whisper it. If he spreads, he will drain all of Wildlands of life forever. And you watch as the shape of the Wildlands continent, for the first time in history that any of you notice, is fully imagined and realized. Yuki and Tobias, you can see this massive continent of the Wildlands appear above the tent. And,
Hurriedly pulls out map. Note.
go ahead and roll a
Practically.
cartographer's tool squaring dex to scribble down the map as fast as you can.
Okay.
This man just Bugs Bunnied this shit.
100%.
Without hesitation.
Yuki, for the first time, this is also the first time you're seeing this map. Oh,
Yes.
he did.
Oh, hell yeah.
This is the first time you're seeing this map. However,
Gotta go. Meep, meep.
you can recognize a few places. You actually see that the map does show the Kingdom of Grain and Rice and the Great Wall that protects it. You can also see the islands that make up the islands in the Dead Sea.
Yeah, it's like a fairly more modern map.
Indeed. However, you can also see that the Wildlands contains islands you didn't know existed. But as he shows this map, and as this map is drawn, and you watch as Tobias scribbles on a page as fast as he is able and recreates this map with perfect precision. Granted, smaller to fit on the page, but it does take up the whole page.
Meep, motherfuckers.
I am impressed, Tobias. You will still be an excellent teacher. We must learn the moon bunny technique for crafting maps.
The moon bunny technique, yes.
The forever celestial rabbit.
Yep.
Moon bunny breathing. First form.
Presently, though.
Moon bunny breathing. First form. Cartography.
Exactly.
Cartographer's pencil.
Presently, though.
Yuki adopts a kung fu stance. Trying to understand. No, I'm
The-
just...
The
I mean,
entire
you
map
would.
was drawn in shrimp posture.
However, you watch as this map appears, and then it begins to crack,
Fade.
break,
Oh crap.
and shatter, and disintegrate until there is nothing left. Yuki, the things that become horrific to you is you watch as the Great Wall shatters into pieces, as if it were nothing. Auria, you can see the islands of the nest be consumed by the ocean and brought low. You can see the mountains crack and crumble. It is horrifying. It is the end of all things. Dude, the Fall of Numenor wishes it was this metal. They got annihilated pretty instantly. You know,
Yeah.
lucky bitches.
Yeah.
However, as the Wildlands disintegrates and falls, you can see that the shaman is lowering the spell. And he frowns. We must survive. There is hope. We know the child of Lion lives somewhere. We only hope he grows strong. But his first step will be here. It is said. And he waves a hand and you can watch as the fires dance. And you see an image of a Leonin clad in golden armor with a golden crown above his head. And he points to the chieftain. And she lowers her head in what you can assume is shame and humility. I must die by his claws and teeth. By his hand, I must bleed for my land. Only then will we be spared and free.
Honor liberated. Yes.
The shaman nods. When the chief dies. And he looks back to the one who is carrying the very interesting weapons. I will conduct the ritual of ascension. And we will have new chief. But we will also be under a lion once more. And we shall feed again.
Chief. Shaman.
She looks.
If you would look to the skies for a moment.
The shaman looks. The chieftain frowns at you. And you can see that her eyes slightly raise.
As I giggle and cackle.
Firebolt.
Firebolt onto the sky.
So, while all this was happening, you had Yuki, you had Leon, and you had Tobias, along with Teardor, and
Gobsy. Yeah.
You were all sitting back in the tent, and you're starting to grow a little concerned because it has taken some time.
Got a new
However-
map though. Got a new map though, so that's an upside.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you know.
The best.
Got a
of
slideshow
maps.
too.
During
You will teach all my kittens how to draw a perfect map. Yes, yes. And then our relationship between the celestial sun or the celestial moon will be complete.
you see a lot of the kittens like holding up little leaves that they brought with them because they smell nice, and like they have little sticks and are like mimicking your drawing. And you hear the soft meow,
Yeah.
meow.
Most
However-
useful of teachers.
However, that was towards the end. During this time, what are the two of you actually doing? I want to give you your chance here that as they walked away, as you know, they entered the camp, and as you started to see this light show,
Yuki in character. Because it's kind of hard to interpret a signal flare is anything but. I wonder
when
what
they
that
come
was
as
for.
impact.
Pretty sure
Yeah.
for us, yes?
That was what he said.
Hmm. And you see Yuki
Oh shit, that's what he said.
Yuki putting her rifle together. Well,
Don't hear any sounds of battle.
it'll all be okay.
Perhaps they arranged the duel without.
See Leon just kind of nod and stand up, and he starts walking. Theodore and Godzi look to the two of you. We will watch the things here.
Tobias.
Yes.
She just kind of looks on. In case this duel goes south, I will need your help in keeping keeping us safe. Who knows if they wish to interfere? Motioning to like all the other camp, you know?
Just motions to camp generally.
Yeah, to like everybody else.
And until they do, we just have to believe in their. Oh.
I do not like that we are trusting them, especially since she motions how few of them there, few of us there are. If they really wish to, they could just fight us.
I would require them to have a reason.
And Yuki, finishing putting her rifle back together, and you hear the familiar click.
Yeah.
As you guys start to follow Leon towards the camp, it will take you, some time to get there. However, as you have lit off the firebolt, the chief looks down at you. What be that?
That is a call of challenge to you, Chief. A champion on his way. A child of Lion, the last of his line. Your wish fulfilled.
Messengers come from many strange places. Sometimes bunnies fall from space, and sometimes
Fucking
worms,
space.
and sometimes gnolls bring words of lions.
She kind of frowns and then looks to the shaman, who seems to smirk. And he just looks, and she reaches down and palms his head again. You knew. Yes. I knew. I can see. They are. They are good. But I am better. I foresaw. Only hoped it was true. I did not know until I saw. It is time, Chief.
God damn it.
It is time. We need to live. And you see that she seems to stand up. He comes.
He comes.
And she nods. Eat, my tribe. Then clear away. The laws are clear. Any who get in my way shall die first. You see the plant just kind of whimper and scatter away, taking their food and eating, just shoveling as much of it into their maws as they can, as fast as they can.
As the chief goes away.
Oh, she stands there.
Chief.
She's just watching.
She's just walking. Chief. The hammer paw's axe was a loot, right?
Yes, there was a loot as part of it.
May I see the axe?
She looks to you and then nods as she returns it.
And as soon as I see the silhouette of the lion,
Mm-hmm.
WWE entrance.
Go ahead, Yuki.
Could Yuki use her alchemy kit here to make the lion a scent that will help him in this fight?
You want to drug him? Got it.
You could.
Well, not necessarily.
You definitely could. My question is what? Describe the scent for me, and for our
In this
audience.
case, she's going to give him. He doesn't need any boldness. He's clearly, focused on his task and everything. What he needs is actually defense. So Yuki is going to give him a calmer scent to kind of keep his mind intact, make him a little bit more defensive.
Alrighty. And so as you start to craft the set, please roll your check querying Dex to make it, and then the other one querying Wisdom or Intelligence, your choice, to give it the magical property.
Oh, isn't just an alchemy check?
Yes. Just 2 rolls, though.
Okay. So here's the alchemist supplies, and then you said wisdom on the magical side?
Yeah, so alchemy supplies, querying wisdom. Okay, perfect.
Okay, well, yeah, she's rolling high.
Yeah. And I figured you would. I just, for the sake of mechanics.
Yeah.
See
Alright.
just how well it go.
Oh, sorry, guys. Just one moment. I need to step away for half a second to grab something.
Sure thing.
Did you expect me not to give Leon a fucking WWE entrance?
No, for half a second, I did.
See, I'm kind of glad that we only actually end up having the time for me to put 1 vial of that thorn venom in there, because with the size of that, no one's really gonna feel the effects. If anything, a few people might have some mild IBS in the morning.
Yeah, they're gonna. Yeah, we have a bundle of dynamite in the big bone pile in case shit goes wrong. I can just that. Oh boy. Yeah, this is what we were built for, Mason. Infiltration.
The biggest downside to it is just Terra's infiltration only ever worked when May was about. And then because life had to happen, May just disappeared.
Sorry.
So Altera was down an infiltration partner for a while.
Alright. So, as you create the scent, you catch up to him, yeah? Oh, did Yuki go
Callie?
AFK?
Yeah, here we go. So, what was that? One more time.
So, as you finish creating the scent, you rush up to give it to him?
Of course.
Okay.
Yeah.
What do you say to him?
This, it's like, this will help you. This will help you win this battle. Is all Yuki says, just kind of almost dismissively, because she's kind of tired of, again, all the honor and, dueling and such. But she's showing her support still.
aka Ayo, take these bath salts.
Yep.
Ayo, snort
I
this
think
popper,
it's-
bro. Don't do
Oh,
drugs,
yeah.
kids.
I think this scent suits you. Is what she says.
He takes it and he nods his head in appreciation, and he applies it to his skin.
Yeah. As he's doing this, in my homeland, it is proper to scent yourself, even if you die. It is out of respect. Even our corpse should be pleasant. She says, shrugging.
He nods his head, and actually seems to smile at that, and just kind of gives you a nod. An interesting way of life. But he applies
And
it.
then y'all start hearing a sick guitar riff.
As you all do appear.
Yes.
As you as you appear and you can see this, the camp lets you in without any hesitation.
Oh, by the way, this is inspiration to the lion.
Yeah.
And you watch as the clan seems to back up, and they look and they stare. You can see there's some snarling, and some people look at Tobias with clear hunger in their eyes.
Smile and wave, boys.
Smile and
wave.
Alan away. But don't reach.
Just giving the scent to our lovely lion. She's got her rifle there, and seeing that, I will not let them eat you, Tobias. I need your knowledge. And they do not care about your most valuable parts. Pointing at your head.
Anyway.
And what was that? I'm sorry, I missed that.
I was not worried, but thank you.
Best not to be worried, yes. Best to ensure your safety with a little bit of gunpowder.
Faith, Steel, and Kitties.
Yep, Faith, Steel, and Kitties, exactly.
But
I mean, Faith, Steel, and Pussy kind of works too, but I don't
Exactly.
as you appear and as this is played, Leon emerges and kind of steps forward, and he looks up at her. Riva. And she kind of chuckles. You have grown since I last saw you, no? I have. Tell me, why?
Sorry.
But you know other. It is law. And she looks back. It is the law that the great lion gave us. It is why Riverfangs were allowed to live. When the Great One died, Lion would have consumed us all. But the balance that she of song and music demands in the wilds, that is enforced by the gardener. And he simply nods. Tell me how. Bone. We know it by many names. It is what enslaves the three greater clans to his will. Break it or take it, and he will lose them. They need to die anyway. They are animals, monsters, sick. You will be unable to make more. I would go to other three clans first. Well, other two clans. Find Rockbreaker. Find Plains Hunters. They do not love Usurper. they have suffered as we have. The Plains Hunters are slightly better off, and slightly worse. They are eaten by bone laughers. Rock breakers break rock to find the ore that no longer exists, has turned to rust and dust. However, and you watch as she snarls and seems to just gain strength. You must kill me first, little king to be. I will not die. And I must give my all. I challenge to Dembra. And you hear just the gnolls all in unison. Dembra, Dembra, Dembra.
I adjust the riff to that.
Yuki, roll a history check. Tobias.
A history check?
Tobias, roll a history check.
So by the way, this is all gonna happen. Just imagine May is providing soundtrack.
Alright, history is not my strongest. Let's go. Yep.
Let's see. No, I like this music. Fucking crap.
Just pull up Sabaton. Come on, do it.
I actually have a song I would like a lot better, but again, I'm 100% sure it will be nuked into the fucking ground. So I'm just going to pull up this. Yuki, the word Demra means something, but you can't remember it off the top of your head. Tobias. Demra is a tradition that is kept in the Beast Tribe today. It is the challenge of ownership of not only one's self and one's ultimate life, and even soul in the connotations that it's used, but also the right of the people that you are a part of, or you control. Basically, when the Beastman tribe was in its infancy, fights of Demra would decide whole wars between the different members of the Beastman tribe. In fact, it is actually tradition that once a year, every single member of the Beastman tribe may make a challenge of Demra against the Beast King. And that is how the Beast King is decided. The current Beast King has defeated 395 challengers of Demra.
Holy shit.
And has only been injured in a third of those fights.
So, somewhere, somehow, there's a troll plotting on how to win that. Anyway, continue.
And as this happens, you all watch as the earth around you begins to shift and change, and there is a ring that emerges. Though the earth is cracked, it is broken, it is diseased. You can feel the magic. Yuki, you can smell the power of the Wildlands as
You
it
can taste the
recognizes
rainbow.
this challenge.
Sorry, I'm so...
And it is just the two of them. Now, on to how you guys are going to be involved in this. I'm actually really proud of myself for this one. Each of you will have an opportunity to do something that will strengthen or hinder one of the combatants. The gnolls will have the same chance. So, each one of you will go ahead and do me the favor of rolling for initiative. first and foremost. All of your tokens are there. So you should be able to roll it easily enough.
Where are they? There it is.
You're the only silver token, my guy.
Yes, but it was covered by my character sheet.
I gotta scroll in a little bit because I can't find Yuki. There she is. Alright, meow initiative. Wow, I rolled a nat one. Good job, Yuki.
The poor kitty,
she
she
rolled
tries.
She rolled high on the alchemy stuff. She's
She
a very
got high on
distracting
Orange
kitty.
Supply.
So, the only thing that so just as a quick clarification, the only thing that you know is that any actual interference, like, trying to wound one or the other, will definitely be, there is a consequence to that. You can kind of feel that in the air.
So I can backseat game with my help action.
Yeah.
Yes, you can. Now, this is a best 5 victories over the opponent will win the match. And the match can be won by either party. The first to get to 5 victories is the winner. And then what happens next will happen. However, there is the chance that some of you may be able to lessen the horror that happens. But, so, let us begin. The gnolls will go after you. After each one of you, a gnoll will go. Now, I will say that you cannot do the same action as the person before you. Or rather, you can't roll... if you have an ability, you can use that, but if you make a check, it cannot be the same kind of check as the person before you. Each stat will be valuable. So, are you ready?
Yep.
What kind of weapon is the prince using?
He is wielding a greatsword.
Okay.
The chief is just wielding her claws and her fangs. I will say that his greatsword does appear to be made of like some kind of really polished stone, though. I did describe it that way. And there are runes down its length.
I'm just thinking about how historically the greatsword was a good defensive weapon.
Well, I'm sure you and Yuki could get into whole treatises on the historical applications of weapons.
Not even you and Yuki, just you and Callie in general.
Yeah, I got a problem.
I won't deny it.
Yeah.
I mean,
Like, there's a whole method of fighting for, like, great swords, or, like, those big, chunky, two-handed swords.
Yeah,
But I
there's the
think it's
whole
called, like,
half
guarding
swording
the
and a lot of
cape or
techniques.
something. No, there's, like, a special way of fighting with them called guarding the cape that is specifically for defending a downed ally.
Yep.
Yeah.
It's pretty much big, wide swings.
So, Tobias, what would you like to do first?
We'll start basic. I'll just do the help action.
Okay. So he will have advantage on his next attack.
Yes.
So, the gnoll, this gnoll will provide Song of the Hunt, as I am calling it. Let me roll. Alrighty. So that is a success on his part. Your help action, while not contributing to the total number of successes yet, may do so at the end of the round, because at the end of the round, a combat happens between the two.
Okay, the thing is, may I, as a reaction, silvery bars that?
The gnoll singing?
Yeah.
You certainly may.
So I silvery barbs as I basically up the intensity of what I'm playing to drown him out.
Alright.
And to give him disadvantage and give advantage to the next person in initiative on his next check.
So, Auria.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry. The DC for all these checks is 15.
Okay.
I want to state that out front. So the null does fail. His check. So, Leon will have a help action when the combat between him and the chief begins. So he will have advantage. And now, Auria, you have advantage on whatever check you're going to make. So, what is Auria doing?
In a fight like this, usually, especially if it's a one-on-one, you need to block out everything that you can see around everything to keep from being distracted. But my whole plan on this is to use my acrobatics and make as flashy as a show to try and distract those that are in the aid of the chieftain.
Okay, I love it, I love it. So, go ahead and roll me that acrobatics check. You do have advantage.
I will.
Fantastic. Now, I will say that the gnolls that are going to go after May and Yuki will be affected by this. And they will each get a check to try and resist. And let's see. I'm going to pit them. I'm going to pit their, let's say, Constitution. Or no, let's say their Wisdom to avoid being ensnared here. I think that's fair. If anyone disagrees, please, by all means, share.
No, seems fair.
Alright, so that's a dirty 20 for the first one, so he fails. He is distracted. And will be unable to give the chieftain aid on his turn. Other one rolled a 12, so he is also distracted and will be unable to give the chieftain aid on his turn. So,
Get double fucked.
Auria, as you create this very broad, your wings flapping kind of motion, and make it very...
I'm still in null form.
Oh yeah, that's true. So, you howl and bark and growl and dance crazily in order to distract the closest gnolls to you, and they just are like, watch it! As they are trying to watch the fight, and instead you're getting in their way. May, you're up. It is officially your turn.
Alright, he already has inspiration.
He has advantages.
So- No, inspiration. He has a D6.
Oh, excuse me.
And advantage.
And advantage. I am going to cast a spell
Spell.
of the second level variety called Phantasmal Force.
And who are you casting it on?
The chiefess.
Hmm.
Yeah,
So
that's
she
a
has to make
funny
an...
one.
Yeah, it is. So she has to make an intelligence saving throw.
Sure.
Because there's no outward visual effects.
Yes, she.
But the
only
shaman
she
might
can see
notice.
it. I'm playing music. I'm just weaving it in.
I'm still worried that the shaman might notice the spell, and just making you aware of that fact.
That is true.
Hold on. Because the thing is, it doesn't outwardly harm her.
Correct.
It only deals damage if I deem the image to deal damage.
Correct. You are creating a distraction for her. You are not outwardly damaging her or weakening, directly weakening her.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, I will say that is allowed. However, I will be rolling for the shaman to notice, because he is one of the people who can still help. Let's see if he does.
So do I have to do a sleight of hand or something like that?
A deception or sleight of hand, your choice.
I will do deception and I will use my inspiration to get advantage
Alright.
on this.
Certainly, go ahead.
24.
and a dirty 20. Very lucky. Even with that +6, he only rolled a 14. So, you were able to weave an image. What image is the chieftain seeing at this point?
She's seeing Leon's image. You see how a displacer beast has the effect that they just seem like just a bit to the side?
Yep.
That.
Actually, just for the sake of putting it out there, I loved how displacer beasts were portrayed in the D&D movie. That shit was fucking great. And a lot more interesting than I think anyone else has really come up with on their own. So,
I still have yet to see it. Like I need to.
you fucking bitch. I love you.
Love you too.
But, so she kind of frowns and snarls, but she is the only one seeing this.
Mm-hmm.
The, Knoll, who was going against you, was unable to do anything. So, you... It's not you. Oh, you can hear the gears turning. Uh-oh.
Did we lose?
Yuki, it's your turn.
Right, here we go. Let's see. I don't actually have a lot of support skills, so my best bet is to...
Oh.
I think that Yuki's going to... Oh.
I just want to make the suggestion, all things considered, for how Yuki is. We are all doing just different things as we can. Items and such would be on the table as well. Pungent scents that might throw something off are possibilities.
I was looking at that. I was looking at what I think I'm gonna do here is Yuki is going to try to read the opponent, read read our chieftain's opponent.
Yeah.
And shout out advice on like what they're going to do.
Sure, I like
I'm gonna
it.
move her over here.
Alright. So basically, the boxing coach, in the ring. I love it. I'm here for it. Yuki, so you are a fighter.
Yep.
I would say that you definitely have advantage here because you are a fighter, and these people are fighters. They're not anything complicated. They are very much just down in the muck, especially her, because she's fighting with teeth and claw. So,
yep.
Please roll me a insight check with advantage. 16. Perfect. So you are able to see that she plans to lunge for him and deliver basically a pincer attack with one claw going up and one claw going under.
Yep. So Yuki is not gonna share it right away. I'm gonna save that in my back pocket until she moves so that she doesn't have a chance to change her strategy.
Okay, I like it. So, the person after you was also stunned by Auria. So, in this round, the majority of you have succeeded in whatever you were planning to do, and so that is a 1-point victory here. Now, you have a chance to gain a second point if Leon lands a blow over the chieftain. It is not a battle of AC on AC. It is a battle on who rolls the higher attack.
Does he get any advantage for the
for your thing?
That's...
He is gaining a +2 to his over the chieftain. The chieftain also has disadvantage on this roll because of the phantasmal force. He also has advantage due to the help action. Your thing will basically, your thing is successful, so it's already been applied to this particular series.
Also, the Phantasmal Force lasts a minute.
Also, there was the Bardic Inspiration, don't forget.
Yeah, if he needs it.
Indeed. So,
I am stacking buffs on this man.
and that is a
We
D6,
all
you
are.
said? A D6, you said?
And the Phantasmal Force also lasts a minute, so
No worries.
it's gonna last
Your Bardic Inspiration is what size die?
D6.
That's what I thought.
We're level 4
Okay.
still.
Maybe not for long. Alright, so the Chieftain will attack first. And she rolls a dirty 20. Oh, no, wait. She has disadvantage, so one more roll. Sorry. Okay, so that's a 3 plus... So that's a 9 total. So she rolled a 9. So now Leon...
Yeah.
He will roll with advantage first. Well, thank God he had advantage, because that first roll wasn't at 1. Not much better with a 7. However, he has a +2, so that goes to 9. He has... so he's matching her right now, so basically, as long as he gets a 1 on this D6, it will be a victory for him. Because he is using that Bardic Inspiration.
Mm-hmm.
So that's a 12. So, you watch as Yuki, you call out what she's doing as she does it. The problem is that he is a little slower to react than you would like. He wasn't expecting you to be... he wasn't expecting you to be giving him advice, because your relationship has been kind of rocky. But B, he wasn't expecting anyone to say anything directly to him. However, he
Come on, Rocky, get in there.
However, he does bring up the greatsword and uses basically the width of the blade and the length of it. He uppercuts the upward claw with the pommel and his own and the crossguard, while the blade slaps down the other claw at the same time, and then using his claws to turn the blade up and stab forward, he lands a blow into her side, and she yelps as she steps back. However, as she does so, you hear the crowd just continue the chant of, the war, or the, battle cry.
Mm-hmm.
Now, it is the new round. Tobias, you're up. That is 2 points for you
Honestly,
guys.
I don't know what I'd want to do besides the help action again, and maybe hand a piece of ration to the nearest knoll that looks a little too thin.
So the knoll directly after you is like right here. You can feed him to shut him up.
Yeah, sure.
Go
Bonus
ahead.
action, help, main action. You want a sandwich?
Go ahead and roll. Go ahead and roll a persuasion check with advantage. Like, stuff a sandwich in it. Theodore would be proud.
Exactly.
22.
So, as you're, go on, Leon, she's weak here, and you then, want a sandwich? The knoll looks
Your
at you.
form's good. Keep your shoulders back.
The knoll looks to the sandwich, looks to the chief, looks to the sandwich, looks to the chief, and just grabs the sandwich and just...
Nom. Exactly.
and is just eating. Stuff it.
Mm-hmm.
So, that is a success. And the knoll directly after you gets no action as he is stuffing his face for the first time with actual food and is just enjoying it immensely. So, Auria, you're up.
Okay, let's see. I think my best bet's going to be to go with using some sort of item at this one. I'm actually, I think I'll follow a bit of Tobias's route there. I'm going to start throwing out rations.
He did specify we cannot take any actions that we have been
Correct.
taken before.
I did specify that at the beginning.
I mean, I was going more with the route of just throwing them out instead of handing them to people. That's where my mind went.
Still would be a persuasion check, though.
Okay, that's fair.
Start shredding harder and get their attention with the performance.
Could do that.
What I'm gonna try and do.
Auterra, there are... I mean, you did throw the poison, you did put the poison in this cauldron. You could throw that on someone.
That I could. I think that might be the style to go for. Let's mess with some of the food. Start throwing cauldron.
So, go ahead and roll me a sleight of hand check to make that happen.
Ba-da-ba-da-ba. Boom.
So, the knoll that goes after you is this one here. You walk over, grab a bowl that is nearby. Again, it's some kind of skull. It's some kind of, like, skull. And you just put it up and then splash! And the knoll next to you just... you watch as the poison is instantly effective, as you watch as he begins to gouge deep claw marks into himself, as this is the undiluted version of this poison.
Of the thorn?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, damn.
And you watch as he's just digging grooves into his own flesh to try and stop the horrific itching. And there's a lot of blood, and it's not pretty. But he is silent. Still, it worked. That, however, there is one problem. Is that his cries and his alarm is enough to cause the chieftain to fight harder. Because, unfortunately, it's just below that 15. But, he is struggling. And, he may have future checks at disadvantage. But for this round, his cries are successful. That is his go. That is your go. May, you're up.
Oh, you're saying that the null succeeded. Ah, damn.
Unfortunately, it's more of a matter of Auterra failed. And,
Terra failed. Okay.
Yeah.
So, me. I am going to shred harder.
Alright.
So, people get distracted and they, drown out any potential cheers of encouragement.
Start playing Dragon Force.
Oh, no, I'm playing Faster Than the Flame by Powerwolf.
Good pick. Alright, so, roll performance, my guy.
Performance 27.
Bravo. So, with a natural 20, it qualifies as both a victory on its own. That's 1 point. So you are now at 3. Just for completing that. But also the one behind you is definitely unable to do anything else. And the one that Yuki is facing will have disadvantage on its next check.
And I'm going with that surge of tempo. I'm just going to inspire the man again.
Nice. He has an inspiration die. Alright, so the guy after you cannot do anything. Yuki, you're up, my dear.
Yuki, because we can't take the same action. So Yuki cannot assist the same way, so what I'm going to do, Yuki kind of coming up with an idea after seeing all these like very, very hungry gnolls, is she's gonna quickly whip up the scent of like fresh cooked meat to distract everybody.
And
The smell of Borger.
And you are definitely using your alchemy supplies for this.
Oh yeah, definitely.
So, in this instance, you will, of course you can make this happen. Roll me alchemy supplies, querying whichever stat you think most appropriate.
I think in this case, Dex, because she's doing it quickly.
Fair enough. Go ahead and roll querying Dex.
Because, yeah, this is more of a hasty effect. Is there any skill involved?
No.
Okay, so yeah, so it's just a regular check. Okay. That's only a 12.
Uh,
It is scent related, technically, but
so, a victory in itself, the guy after you cannot go. And I believe I said, correct me if I'm wrong, there were 3 effects to the nat 20.
mm-hmm.
One was a victory point immediately. One was
Yeah, I remember
the
that.
person after cannot go.
Remember that.
And the other one has disadvantage.
Right. Okay, so I just wanted to make sure of that. So, unfortunately, you did not meet the threshold for a 15. However, the scent is there now, and certainly is permeating the air. It just hasn't reached anyone just yet. However, this guy is going to have disadvantage on his check. So let me roll for him. Oof. So that is a natural 1. So on a nat 1, here's what happens. The person whose side that was on would lose a point. However, the chieftain has no points to lose. Also, he is unable to make a check his next turn, and the next of you to react has advantage.
So that
So,
would be
Tobias.
funny. Yeah.
So Tobias, whatever check you're coming up with next is going to be at advantage. So,
Does it have to be me doing a check, or will it just be?
so it's the next check that's made will be at advantage. I will say that because you don't do a lot of checks yourself.
Okay.
I will allow that because I'm a benevolent king of the wilds.
Thank you.
But, so, way to go, team. Now, Leon, it is now time for the next skirmish. So he has, she still has disadvantage because of Phantom Image. He has
Yep.
Bardic Inspiration.
Yep.
Alright, so here we go. Okay, that is a 19 plus 6 for a total of 25. He will not use Bardic Inspiration this round. She. That's a 3 plus 6 for 9 on the first roll. And that is a 15 plus 6 for the second. That's disadvantage, so she rolled a 9. So again, the sense, pretty much everything is just getting in her way. She's distracted. She is unable to, the sound of her clanmate in pain has caught her off guard. There's a lot going on here, and Leon is just able to deliver a mighty slash downward across her chest as she is unable to defend herself quite readily, and you watch as her blood just paints the ground. Yet she is still on her feet. That is 4 total successes. If you guys are majority successful on this check, this will be the ball game for you. So, Tobias, your action is
Bonus action, help action again.
Okay.
And I'd actually like to remind the prince of the wonderful lineage that he hails from, and list out some great kings. If that is something I can do.
that is certainly something you can do. In order to do that, please roll me a history check.
And I have advantage from the thing, right?
You do. You do indeed. A 16, perfect. You are able to list out some great kings, even kings that are not necessarily from the wilds, from the wildlands. You are able to tell him of, the lineage of Leonin from Ardania. You are able to tell him of his own father's lineage, which you've heard, which you've kind of gathered, and that his father was known as the Great King, in honor and veneration of Lion, the greatest of kings. And you are able to bring a sort of pride into him that you can see swelling him with ferocity. The Knoll after you is going to do Song of the Berserker. This is a Knoll song that is going to he gives his chieftain advantage on her next attack. It is their equivalent of the help. Unfortunately, he did not roll high enough to give the added bonus to her to hit. But he did give her advantage. So, she now has advantage. And Leon still has a bardic. And, an advantage. Tara.
Okay. What would be a good one for this? The dynamite's still in that bone pile. Just
It
a
certainly
little
is.
fire, isn't it?
It certainly fucking is.
Boom.
I'm sorry, what?
You're gonna light that bitch on fire.
Yeah.
Alright. Roll me a...
By the way, you realize that we're right next to it, right?
We'll be fine.
Roll
I'm
me
concentrating.
a
I'm concentrating on the fucking spell, dude.
Roll. So, what do I want this to be? Let's make this a acrobatics. No, that's not. Let's make this an attack roll with dexterity. That is my
Okay.
final answer.
And the DC for this is what? 15?
15.
As well? Okay.
Okay.
So whatever your best weapon is, you may roll it.
Well, that's all my weapons, so... if I use the ability that I have with the tongue lashing, because it is a more autonomous style of a whip, could I get advantage doing that?
I would say yes. Because tongue lashing could actually strike the fuse fast enough to attack it on its own. Awesome.
Okay, hold on.
So here's what happens.
I might fucking Barb's the man. Hold on.
So, the
Brett,
dynamite.
let me think, please.
Sure, no problem.
I'm pondering Barb saying fucking Mason. Because I don't want him to hit.
Well, so I should probably go with a bit more on this. Yes, I know they're next to us. I want to make the boom. There's a reason for the whip style too. You know, flick out.
Yeah, still, there's bone shrapnel.
Yeah, that's going to be an issue no matter how we were to do it. But the hope is to knock the dynamite a bit further away, so there's not as much directly next to us.
So that's the red circle on the map is where the dynamite would have been placed.
Yeah, so as a sad blue magic player would say, it resolves.
That's actually good. I like that.
Just blue, he just looking at his hand dejected. It resolves. So, boom! And it explodes. I need Auria, May, and these three gnolls here are going to all roll dexterity saves.
Yes, we
Alright, that's one. That's two. That's three.
Okay. 19.
So, The shaman and the hunter further back succeed. So, and you two succeed. So there is no damage taken. It is a save or suck. However, this poor hunter gets obliterated.
I believed in us.
And he was the one who goes after Auria. So he is out of the combat. However, next round there will be someone to replace him. Keep in mind that all of these gnolls can be slotted in.
If there's another round.
True.
Yeah.
There is 2 successes right now. So the pressure's on May and Yuki here. May, you're up.
How do you secure our victory?
Tchaikovsky, no. Tchaikovsky, yes. How do I want to do this? Like the shred harder worked last round.
But unfortunately, you cannot make the same check.
Yeah, unfortunately, I cannot do the same shit. And my spells are either to make someone run, but they take damage, or I can charm someone. I can charm someone.
There is also, just so you know, the tools that you have, because each one can query a different stat.
Yeah, I don't know how the Sky Skit and Calligrapher's tools in Surgeon's Heart will do.
I am seeing a drum, a lyre, and a lute.
Make
Yeah,
a
I'm
love
shredding,
letter
bro.
by the
I'm shredding with the loot. That's
That's an
that's why the
axe.
performance happened.
Use the calligraphy tools to write a
Oh,
love letter
fair.
and just float it past the
Um,
chief's eyes.
Who's the the shaman's going next, right?
The shaman actually only acts on special occasions.
The shaman only acts on
So the
special
next
occasions?
one who will react is actually going to be one of. So actually, it's you. So the one he reacts next. This one here.
He reacts next.
Uh-huh.
I shift. I shift the shredding into a more retort based type of riff, and I am going to cast Charm Person
Nice.
on him
Nice. All right. So he needs to roll a wisdom save.
at disadvantage
Oh,
because I'm using because I am basically, as the axe is being shredded, the more dulcet tones are being played and plucked on the DOS lute.
Nice. All right. So he does fail.
Just come here and chill with me with the music, and I continue.
Alrighty. So he is out of the combat. Now, this was not a check, so it does not contribute to total successes. But that's okay, because it means that he is unable to make her check, so she is 1 down as well. And actually, she's 2 down, so she cannot. She basically cannot succeed in that point if her checks this round.
And I still have a reaction, just in case, so...
Yep. Yuki, you are up, my dear.
Alright, so Yuki's plan is to move over here, as long as I'm not in the circle.
You're fine.
And
Shit.
Yuki is going to try to startle or distract our opponent by
Okay.
firing the gun off in the air.
Woo! I like it. So,
Yuki goes, I shoot the shaman in the shin.
I was thinking about it. I was so thinking about it. But
Oh,
that would turn this into quite the genocide, and I know Yuki's been thinking of that. But
go ahead.
I mean, an attack roll, but
So
I don't know.
that's a good. What? Let me.
Make a sound check.
I mean, I could say it's insight because they're waiting for the perfect opportunity to get them distracted, but it's just firing a gun in the air. It's not.
And I would say an insight would definitely work here because I agree with you.
Yeah, just waiting for a moment when it would matter.
Yeah, exactly. And
Like
again,
a break in the riff to.
Yep.
and again,
Yeah.
keep in mind that Tobias, Tobias and May really have any idea about firearms. There is a version of them in Ardenia, but they are not quite like this.
Mhm.
And so none of the Wildlands is really used to that sound. So it
They
does
don't
startle
know
people.
boomsticks. Yeah.
So with a 23, as Yuki, you watch as
It's literally Tchaikovsky's piece in which he used cannons.
Yeah.
you watch
But-
as the Knoll chieftain freezes and looks up, and as she does, Leon spears her through her chest with his sword, and you just watch as she drops to her knees. The ring begins to slowly fade away and sink back into the earth, almost as if it was never there. And Leon stands in front of her, because on her knees she is as tall as him. And he just looks at her in her eyes and he says, I accept your sacrifice, and your clan shall be allowed to feed and live under my rule. I will bring death to the usurper and the tainted ones. She looks down at her chest where the blade is protruding, and she looks up at him. Lead like the great. And she just, her head falls forward, and you watch as her body begins to rapidly decay. You also watch as it decays, and this is very much a Thanos snap kind of moment, as her body is just crumbling. But as it does, and the dust touches the earth around her, you actually watch as Yuki, for the first time in this land, you can smell life. It is a powerful enough scent. You can inhale the life of the Wildlands suffusing this area now. And you can actually watch as the ground loses its dark, bitter, blackened color and instead becomes vibrant. It becomes brown. It becomes earthy, and the nutrients have returned. As her bones begin to break, you watch as some of the plant life begins to shudder around you. The grasses and even this tree that is long dead. You watch as it shudders, and you swear you can make out the tiniest sprouts appearing next to the dead and decayed pieces. The enchanted lines on this cliff glow. The strong is the rule. And the Knoll shaman speaks. The river chieftain has fallen. We are servants of Leon, son of Lion. Yes. And a great cackling cacophony of joy fills the air around you. And as there is nothing left of the great chieftain, Leon pulls his blade out, and you watch as the runes are glowing brightly. And he simply looks to the blade and then looks to the spot where she lay. And on the spot where the last of her body disintegrates, you can see the tiniest sapling of a baboa tree. Basically the big, thick African trees.
Yeah.
You can see that one has taken root here. And he actually speaks. You are River Fang no longer. I call you Oath Fang. The tribe cheers. The tribe cheers as a new name has been given. And you watch as a golden light suffuses these gnolls and even Leon himself. And you watch as Leon gets a little bigger and a little stronger looking. It is a visible difference. He grows.
He didn't even need a little
foot.
blue pill.
He's
Nope.
getting juiced.
Yep. He works on orc logic.
Exactly. That's what I was thinking.
However, as he does so, all the gnolls cheer and begin to, for the first time, seem joyous. Also, they don't look sickly. You then watch as Leon approaches the leadership here and looks to the shaman as the shaman begins to mutter and sing softly around this leader here. And Leon taps the leader, the new leader, with his sword. I dub thee chief of the Oath Fang tribe. And you watch as he does so, this gnoll grows in size. And another cacophonous yipping and cheering goes up in the air. And Leonin looks to all of the gnolls. My subjects, I give you my oath that I will not let you starve, and that the balance will be restored. On my crown. And with that, we will end today's session. All of you are now level 5.
Whew.
Yay!
Cat noises.
Cat noises.
I like blowing things up, especially if it makes Mayhem get a little nervous.
Oh yeah, it's like I'm like, oh boy, he's gonna fuck me up.
I want to thank all of you who watched today, and I want to thank all of you so very much for participating in just seeing this. I am actually really proud of how this went. I'm actually really proud of how I wrote it and how it's kind of unfolding. So thank you, my fantastic players. And of course, I could not do this without them. I may be a storyteller, but they are the ones who make the story come alive. So, allow me to thank them in turn. Let's start off with my right hand, stage right, Mr. Mason, my dear brother, playing Auria, our scout owlet.
And today, apparently, negotiator.
Directly beneath him, returning for the first time in a long time, we have missed him, but he is never too far, Mr. Mayhem, played by Mr. Whitehill, our burb bard.
College of Flesh Weaving, yes.
Indeed.
We missed you.
I missed y'all too. I'm sorry I wasn't here, but you know, as soon as I do, chaos ensues.
Yep, the curse of the IRLs.
Yeah. Oh, it was fucking great. And Mason, why do you want to make me sweat every fucking time?
Because
funny.
you and I just seem to play so well off of each other.
There's that too.
Yeah. Literally make me ponder if I want your shit to even be.
Oh, the poor baby can't handle a little bit of his own chaos.
No, I can. I just want sometimes my plans to continue.
I mean, they did. We won.
Yeah. I was saving my final fucking reroll in case I failed that.
See,
Of
I knew
course.
you had it in you.
We also have the ever lovely Callie Cat, playing Yuki, our mere seller of sense.
Well, you thank the players, but the players also thank their DM. Thank you so much. And also, yeah, cosmic power, divine to strength here for everybody. What would happen if a hyena won?
Oh,
These are bad people.
Oh, I was so ready for that, and it is sitting still in my notes and still
Oh
in
yeah.
the story of
No,
the world.
But Yuki's kind of understanding. It's like, okay, yeah, they're all happy and peaceful and lovey-dovey. Well, yeah, that's because they had a bad leader come in and beat everybody up. It's no different than normal.
True.
Do you still want to kill all of them?
Yeah, kind of.
Maybe.
Yeah, kind of.
Because,
At least it's honest.
again, in character, Yuki very much understands that, yeah, the situation was not brought on to them being all nice either. Yeah, they had a bad leader, but it doesn't mean that they were doing particularly well, and the measures that they were going to resort to survive were going to be really bad. If you're only good when the chips, if you're only fair weather, that still means you're a bad person. Yuki still very much addresses it as that. It's like, yeah, your nature is still to be evil.
And
You don't get away with it just because times are bad.
last but certainly not least is Mr. Exile playing Tobias Flint, our Herondon artificer and local celestial moon rabbit.
I am only one of those things.
All hail the space bunny.
I love that before
Thank
you
you,
even
Doc.
set foot into this camp, it's bunnies fall from space. But
Yep.
it is my pleasure, Exile, of course. I always love having you in. While you are quiet, you are always thoughtful. But thank you again, my fantastic audience. Rather, our fantastic audience, our fantastic patients. Thank you so much for attending today's surgery. I have been your King of the Wilds, Dr. John Wolfenstein, and we will see you next time as we traverse through these